Everyone, hi. Bruce Mufson, Lcsw, coming at you with another video from SUNRIDGE, Nevada. Today's topic is going to be self-esteem. We got a ton of comments about this over the years, but how do I improve my self-esteem? What is good self-esteem? How do I get self-esteem? It's a huge issue for adolescents and teenagers and trying to struggle with it. So I'm going to go through it, give you some perspectives to think about, and give you things that you can work on yourself when you're after listening to this video. Here we go. All right, first of all, the thing is like this. I have an article from Fisher Titus from someone named Judy Zellner, and they put this down as a good comment. I liked it. The things that lower our self-esteem can be different for everyone. That's number one. Everyone has their own issues when it comes to their own personal self-esteem. So different life experiences are going to affect people differently. Now, some of the things that I see that affect your life experiences, as she's put down, is abuse as a child or an adult, relationship problems, inability to work, financial issues, physical health problems. So these are all factors that affect people's self-esteem, and it could start as early as 4 or 5 years old, way into adulthood. So what are some of the things you need to realize about it? Number one, and this is number one for me, stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop doing that. I get that a lot from teenagers and young people. Well, she looks hot in a bikini. He's ripped. I wish I had her clothing. He's driving an amazing hot car. He had a better childhood than I did. I get a lot of that from dysfunctional families, people in dysfunctional families. Their childhood was better than mine. You know what? Who cares? You don't know what went on in their life. Stop thinking like that. Focus on your life and what you have to do to feel better about yourself. But that compare and contrast is a waste of time. Stop belittling yourself. I get this a lot also. I'm this minority. I'm this ethnicity. I come from this background. I'm poor. Who cares? You know what? Everyone struggles. What are your strengths? Go from there. But stop the negative talk. What are you good at? What can you do well? Go forward. Another thing, which common sense, some of these, be around positive people. When people who are pushing themselves to do better academically, to do better athletically, to do better socially, to do better making contacts, you kind of cut along with the wave and you're going to be lifted up with that. I've seen that with kids from the very beginning. Who you surround yourself in life is huge. You hang around with the losers, you're going to wind up being a loser. Hang around with the winners or people that are trying to do more things with their life. Okay. Put down lists. I get this a lot in questions. What should I look for in a career? Write down and do this from the very beginning. What are you good at? If I look back at my childhood, adolescence, I could say off the bat, I was not good in math. I was not good in sitting behind a desk. It wasn't my thing. But I liked being outside. I liked being around people. I liked being action-oriented and moving around. Start to realize what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and follow your strengths. It's common sense. All right. Give back. They talk about this a lot. The example they gave was like you smile at someone in the grocery store. I might be there for only smile of the day. All right, great. When I say give back, volunteer. Volunteering is huge. I don't care where you volunteer at. Your church, a food bank, animal adoption center, working with the elderly, something. When you give back, number one, you learn how to feel good about yourself. You make connections. And you're developing skills you didn't know that you had. When I say give back, volunteer. You make the world a better place and you feel better about yourself as well. Self-care, again, you hear this in everything anyway. Get enough sleep, stay off that computer. If you're taking medications, take them, but self-care, eat right, blah, 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 blah. Again, that's kind of repetitive. I want you to kind of focus on the other ones that are really more relevant. All right, another thing too now. Some statistics about self-esteem, and you think it doesn't affect people, it really does. There was a 2017 study, this came from an article about teen suicide. Department of Health, only 19% of girls in the 6th grade say they feel confident, and by the 10th grade, it's only 6%. And for boys in the 6th grade, 37% say they feel confident. By the time they hit 10th grade, 12%. We did a video a couple of years ago. We did adolescent girls. We did girls in elementary school about body image. We did this about 4 years ago. And I was taken aback how these poised, confident young ladies were telling us how many girls, even boys, had issues about their self-confidence. And their body image. Like, you're too fat, you want to be pretty, don't eat this. And already making girls, particularly the girls, third, fourth, fifth grade, already very self-conscious about their bodies. And we were kind of taken aback. And even the assistant principal that helped us out was also taken aback at how deep this problem goes. So imagine if you're ready by fourth, fifth grade not feeling great about yourself. Imagine by high school with all that social saturation by social media. Look like this, act like this, wear this, drive that. Don't hang out with these people, do this, say this. You become almost robotic in how they train you to think and do a certain way. And it's never been more prevalent than it is today to follow the leader. When I see high school kids today, it's almost like white, black, brown, yellow. They almost all look identical in how they dress, how they talk, how they speak. And that's what they want you to do, to think along those ways. All right, and that affects your self-esteem. Now, be open to change. I tell this to kids all the time. And I list this down as examples. Number one, try different kinds of food. Go to different kinds of movies you wouldn't normally see. Try different kinds of music. Go to different neighborhoods and walk around. Go to museums. Have different experiences. When I say you live in Las Vegas, I say, how many shows have you gone to? 0. This is Las Vegas, for God's sake. Go check out what people offer every single night. Do things differently. Change your approach. Do things differently. It's a huge aspect of your self-esteem. Also, live in the present. Stop living in the past. Trust me, guys, after high school, no one cares. They really don't. They may pretend to care a little bit, but really they're just wasting your time. Oh, yeah, you had a rough childhood. Your dad wasn't in your life. Your mom wasn't really a supportive mom. Blah, 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 blah. I don't care. You have a job, you're in college, you're in a trade school, you're in the military. No one cares. They now see you as an adult and they expect you to act like an adult. If you keep on bringing up the past over and over and over again, you become boring, you become dull, you become repetitive. No one wants to hear that. So stop living in the past, focus on the now. We've all made mistakes. Look at my face. I've made thousands of them, big ones, terrible ones. But I can't keep on living in the past and beating myself up and not moving forward. I have a family, I have a wife, I have bills. I have to be responsible. So forget about the past. You make a mistake, dust yourself off, get going, and start becoming functional. Focus on the here and now. A lot of kids get caught up in that, and that's how they get caught up with the drugs and alcohol, the poor choices sexually. It's not worth it. Okay, now, always do this. This seems common sense, but doesn't always happen a lot. If you're being put down or made fun of, or you're the butt of jokes, get out. Don't be around toxic people. Toxic people make you feel like a loser. That goes to relationships. If your boyfriend or girlfriend constantly demeans you, or your social group is always demeaning, you're the butt of jokes, you're being left out, you're being bullied, walk away. I know people sometimes will say to me, well, at least it's negative attention. I'm getting some attention. That's not healthy attention. Find a peer group that accepts you for who you are, what you like, what you enjoy, and latch on to them. I don't care if they don't look like you, different than you. That's the greatness of America and diversity, is you can find your own peer group that affects you in a positive way. So when it's toxic, get out and watch how your self-esteem begins to improve. Okay, closing. Here's another thing also, and I tell this a lot to people. Put down journaling. It's a good thing to do. And I know it gets, if you got to do it on a laptop, an iPad, I don't care. Put down 10 of your strengths. What are you good at? And start from there. That's going to give you an idea of what interests you should have in life and where you want to go forward with. So put down your strengths and you realize what you're good at. And what are your successes? What have you done well in the past? You start to see a common theme. And that's what you just have to start building on. Once you realize you have strengths, once you realize what your successes are, you start to feel better about yourself. All right, and in closing, just take care of yourself. A lot of times people feel like, well, you know what? I feel like such a loser. I'm just going to stick with, eating this, doing this, being self-destructive. Never, never, never be self-destructive. That's the worst thing you can do for yourself. You are your own brand, and you got to push yourself. That's it from here. Another video from Bruce Mufson, Lcsw, Sunridge, Nevada.